Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff. Champion Entertainment Wrestling presents Wrestling for a Cause 2, Save the Tatas, a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness. Queensborough's Elks Lodge, October 18th. Doors open at 6 p.m., bell time 7 p.m. Be sure to check out Eventbrite for tickets. Get your tickets at eventbrite.com. For Championship Entertainment presents Wrestling for a Cause 2, Save the Tatas. Queensborough's Elks Lodge, October 18th. Be a part and do a part for breast cancer awareness. Welcome everybody to another episode of Call It a Pinfall, the episodic series in which new stories are thrown rapidly to a timer between two constituents, two individuals who are partaking in the show. Jay Santy here with our boy, the Keef, kicking in. And this is definitely a show for the two of us because we're two people who love the sound of our own voices. So putting a timer on us really helps us out. All right. To get this thing going, just gonna start off with about 10 news stories, and we'll hit them at a rapid pace. Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it right off the rip. Number one, we get the announcement. AJ Styles calls his retirement date. AJ's looking at the 2026. Most likely, it would be at WrestleMania. Your thoughts on his career and the possibility it will be, and what's his future going from here on out?
Oh, man. One of my favorites. I was honored to meet him. We went to House of Glory. It was like a must. I mean, he was, you know, what Will Ospreay. There's no Will Ospreay today without AJ Styles. You know, like he doesn't really come across like a wrestler. He's like an action hero in my eyes. Like he just does things that doesn't make sense. I loved everything he did. I remember he kind of, you know, I remember you would put me onto the Bullet Club and everything he did out there, and just the way he you know, pioneered wrestling all over the globe, and how he adjusted to the WWE way. You know, there's so many wrestlers that could never do what he did because that indie god level wrestling talent that he will always be remembered for. I mean, to do the transition to WWE, you know, you got to tip your cap. That just tells you how good of a wrestler he was. I mean, he never was really the best on the mic, but no matter who he's in the ring with, you're always going to get an incredible match. I mean, genuinely speaking, his you know, TNA days will always be top tier and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, we're getting this feud with Cena for a match coming up this week, but just things he did with other great wrestlers, Randy Orton, you know, Cody and Cena, et cetera, et cetera. He's one of the all-time best ever, and I wish him well. And I hope he gets the proper send-off, honestly. I don't know who it would be last match, but definitely deserves a proper send-off.
You know, I remember watching him in his early days in TNA. He was electrifying, and what the tag name says phenomenal.
Yes.
We always had said that, you know, shit, it would be great to see him in WWE. And when we finally saw it, when that theme song hit and he popped up at Royal Rumble, it was just a breath of fresh air, but it also scared the shit out of us because we were like, okay, now that he's here, what are we gonna do now? Like, I'm hoping that we get something. And he had some runs there, man. He had a title run. He also had his he had some feuds. I love this feud with Cena as well. They, like you said, they're gonna rekindle that soon. I'm just more interested what's gonna happen from here on out afterwards. He's discussing the possibility of working with WWE still. He's gonna be still doing some kind of I guess trainer, backstage work with them. Uh, Man who was able to have a career with little to no injuries. He did succumb to some freakish ones as of recently, but that happens with age. But this is a man who is going to be first ballot Hall of Famer wherever he goes and every place he lands.
Not a doubt. Not a doubt.
As the name says, phenomenal. Next up, speaking of TNA, your thoughts on what's going on with TNA and the WWE's relationship? What's happening with the shows and the rosters, and now with the invasion angle going on? What's your thoughts that's happening with these two companies?
I like that they're trying these angles. It's awful television, but they're trying. Like they're giving this sort of if it definitely feels like they're trying to give creative a little bit more of a playground to show what they can probably come up with different wrestlers in different settings, and I'm for that. It just, we're black and gold guys at the end of the day, right? And yeah, that's not TNA, but TNA is trying to be the dark version of NXT in a weird way. And the beauty about black and gold, it was so simple, bad guys, good guys, incredible matches, week to week, episodic. There's no extra like cringy, just nothing over the top, and it just feels like, hey, we're gonna have an invasion, and one of the captains of the TNA team is a WWE talent. Like, come on, like it's like right in front of you guys. Like, you go like 2 steps forward, and then like you cut off like every toe I have. You tease me a little bit. Like there was a week that NXT was better than Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite, and then a few days later we find out that you rip apart the name of Invasion, and because it's some political thing, and it doesn't feel like wrestling. Wrestling at its core breaks rules, and we haven't broken rules in a while, and it breaks my heart because we're folding under this umbrella, and it just feels very like it just doesn't feel real anymore.
I would have at least maybe try to make the attempt to have it feel like maybe like when Nash and Hall invaded WCW. You could have had Cardona or formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth come in and start that whole rivalry and stuff. You
live stream it like or something,
especially especially with the usage of social media, you could have very much used it. The one thing that I am not a fan of these days is just WWE going into territories now, having partnerships, having bought them out, and now becoming the dominant individuals. Very Vince like. You're coming in and you have to make your star the belt holder, the championship holder.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep. The only thing I can say is there is some hope. There's a possibility Mustafa Ali just is debuting there. I'm hoping that he does take the North American title. This is something that was something he should have obtained during his time at NXT. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping that with this an invasion showdown. Jeez, what fucking pussies. And, that's just thing that kills fucking verbiage. It feels like back in the days when we first fucking was in the Gulf War, we couldn't even use words like Judgment Day and shit anymore. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. You make such a valid point with the belt holders. Like, it's just like, come on, there's nothing wrong with it. The TNA talent. Eventually, the TNA talent is gonna be a WWE talent. Like,
right.
I'm so with you, 100%. 100%.
Next up, WWE graphics. Yo,
this is a topic.
I'm sorry, but this has just been like annoying. It's been annoying the fuck out of me. For a company that has just been, in the black for many years and now doing these partnerships, the graphics. Is it me or are they cheapening out on the fucking graphics for their PLEs?
Easy.
Or the shows?
I'll say this: Clash in Paris was cool because they did the historic art, the France painting and everything. That was cool. That I like that. that gave me a little bit of sense of like, okay, like we're in Paris, everybody's hyped that we're in Paris. But your typical PLE, right, is a poster of babyface and the heel and their face all up in the poster. Their
Right.
face is like bang, and you get like a little bit of a design and call it a day. And there's no creativity whatsoever. And it's crazy because we're living in the golden era, literally the golden era of graphic design. Me, can make better posters. I've done the shit. This is insanity to me. And it's true. And I hate to like nitpick, and I know you do too, but it's like, yo, can you get any? It's like going to the supermarket, right? And standing in the bread aisle. Like there's nothing that's gonna stand out. You know, you're sitting there looking at, oh, that might look a little, no, that's bread. Yeah, that's the same bread that I saw last fucking Tuesday. And that's what it is. And it just is it kind of simulates why we're complaining a little bit, because it's just the lack of effort, the lack of creativity, the lack of like just taking one more step, right? And obviously it's cost cutting because, you know, the most richest company in the world, you know, God forbid they hire a real graphic design artist to like show their creativity. God forbid.
You mentioned it. Yeah. You and I, like, I'm sitting here I finally sat there and I said, you know, if for me to start investing a little bit more in the network, I got to start making it pop a little bit more. I got to start doing things. So I invested in starting to work with doing graphic designs more. Started getting into it. So when looking at WWE, I go, did they just fucking get I can't even say a teenager, because teenagers are doing amazing shit on fucking
I think they do AI. I think they do AI, bro.
yeah, and this is what I'm saying. They must have gotten like a real boomer who's just starting to use fucking AI to make these fucking graphics. I mean, like you said, everything just seems like the fucking the face image is there. Like, long are the days that I missed the motion capture look, or when the wrestlers are flexing or doing the look or and whatever. We're not doing that anymore. It's such a cost effect. It's almost as like WWE and TKO are having a fucking garage sale, and they're just like selling off products, or they're just sitting there going, you can be a part of the WWE TKO a family for this low cost of 20,000 a year. And
You know what? You know what they're doing? Bruce Pritchard is going into Chat GBT and telling
right.
him that to make the fucking poster.
Exactly. This is fucking atrocious.
I agree again. Again, yes.
Oh my god. Next up, AEW just recently announced the women's tag team championships. They're gonna be out there. Is this needed, or Jesus Christ, AEW, another one?
I first and foremost, shout out the ladies. They deserve everything, yes. But they deserve everything the proper way. Don't give them a tag team championship where the division is just truly non-existent week to week. There's new teams, there's new partnerships literally every single week in AEW. And if they're not in a tag team, they're in a trios match or a 6 women match or 8 women. I can't keep up. I just want AEW, genuinely, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I want AEW to just start breaking rules. Like, I don't need more championships. No, I need you to start saying, whoa, they're doing that? Let's watch that. I don't need more blood. I don't need more weapons. I just need you guys to just go into the well, truly go into the well and just be different. That Tony Storm, Mariah May, all that was fire. Go, like, why can't we tap on that? Chris Statlander is the champion. Yes, she might be, like transitional, but tap into that. You could do so much random shit instead of saying, hey, there's more belts that are going to be on the waist of these wrestlers and no one's going to care because they're just, a tire at some point. I honestly cannot tell you the name of Okada's belts because he has like 3 or 4 of them. I can't.
All right, listen, I've always been on the polar opposite. Whole Milk Mike hates this. I say, give me more belts. I don't give a shit. And it just, as long as you put them in divisions and you give wrestlers to fight for them, I don't give a fuck. Just let it go down. but at the same time, yeah, the need was here for some time because they had already been lining up teams in that women's division for a while. It was there. Yes, there is some I guess overkill when it comes to the amount of, I guess maybe because the names are terrible. Like
Bro, you talk about graphics. You just talk about. Have you seen the AEW? Oh my lord, those
yeah,
match graphics. Holy shit!
like it's just yeah, it's if someone asks me about is belts killing the industry? I say I don't think the belts are killing the industry. There's a litany of stuff I can fucking put on the list before
I
I can
agree.
say it's killing the industry.
Absolutely, I
But
agree 1,000%.
I
Yes.
will say that what's going down is more along the line when it comes to the belts is we had to put them in high regards. I was just recently shout out to Homework Mike. We just did an episode of Under the Ring Apron. John Cena walked in the Howard Stern studio carrying the belt and they asked questions.
Thank you. Bingo.
There's something about that is drawing I guess maybe some ire of whether or not it's really needed or not.
And you know what, too, real quick? Last year, one of the most captivating stories in all of wrestling. Yeah, it's not about a belt, but it was about a bracelet between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. Why was that so dope? Because it was just good storytelling. You could tell a good story with the belt, yes, but don't just make a belt to say, I'm making a fucking belt.
To think the bracelet was more important than a title.
Yes, it was.
It was insane.
Shit cost $2.
Mentioned John Cena. Next up, John Cena's match is the final will be in December on a Saturday night main event. Is that the way to go out for him on a main event? And who do you think is his last opponent?
No, I do not think it's the way he should go out. If it was up to me, his last opponent, personal, well, okay, so let's start over. His last opponent in this umbrella of TKO is probably going to be Gunther. I don't think it's going to be Brock. It's probably going to be Gunther because I think the reason why Brock did what he did to Cena is that when Gunther and Cena have their last moment, he's going to pretty much put over Gunther to the point where Gunther is the guy to take out Brock Lesnar, and then we get the match. He kind of build up the match through the farewell tour, whatever. But if it was up to me, I wouldn't have his last match at Saturday. I'd have it at Mania. I really would. And I know John probably is not with that. But I would have it at Mania. And I know nobody wants to hit this, but it should be against The Rock. It absolutely should be against The Rock. You need to finish that story. He sold his soul, or The Rock thought he did, and then he did a whole 180 because the fans eventually got to him. And if The Rock needed a champion so bad, then what happened to his champion? Because the champion lost the belt back to Cody Rhodes, who is technically The Rock's, partner that he's beefing with. Like they're technically, if you want to go back to fucking WrestleMania 40. So that's what I would do because I'm storyline driven. But it looks like we're gonna get Gunther, which I'm a huge fan of. Gunther, to me, best wrestler on the planet. And I'm cool with that because eventually we're gonna get Gunther and Brock, where it's probably gonna be a terrible match, but we're all gonna be excited for it.
Yeah, we've already discussed how lackluster this run has been, and if you were going to commit full, and then find your way out the avenue to get him out as a face, to do that switch that they did, I guess it was needed, it was necessary. They knew that they were it was a lame duck that was happening, and I would have thought that maybe, just maybe, you would give him a send-off on a bigger platform than Saturday night's main event. Nobody really watches that shit. Who's really watching that? Like, I guess that's the reason why they're doing it. It's gonna be most likely it lined up that it's going to be Gunther. You want to possibly say that that's the next face of the company. Rock is not gonna do it. You would have to throw a boatload of money to him. He's gonna sit there and bitch and moan and cry about it. And he's gonna give you a shitty match, and it's not gonna happen. I
agree.
I would have, hey, fuck. If Batista was ring ready, fucking bring him in. Who gives a shit? But like right now, it would either have to be either the three that's been there, but we've already seen two out of the three. We've seen Cody go against Orton, and we've seen John go
Randy,
against
Randy, Cody. Yep.
I mean Cody, Randy, and stuff. So I guess unless you're ready to put over someone bigger, maybe a Jacob Fatu or whatever, I think Gunther would probably be the logical choice.
If wrestling companies weren't like so whack, should be Edge.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
But we all know why it's not happening. But like if we all just sat down for 10 minutes and be like, yo, this is for the sport, not for bragging rights.
Right.
Let's just do this, right? Let's just do it for the moment, and then maybe you build a better working relationship with party A and party B. But in reality, it should be those two.
Hell, it happened before. We had a TNA WWE sharing for a moment with Christian Cage and stuff like that. So there was a moment that had happened. But at this point in the first half of the show, we usually throw a pop culture curveball out there. And on this section of the show, just wanted to throw out there because we had a quick banter about this the other day. MLB playoffs. Okay. Your thoughts on what's happening right now, and should this stay? Do we need to keep this formula going? What's it? And all the fans happy with this?
It kind of, I feel like Major League Baseball tries their best to talk out of both sides of their face. Honestly, they want an exciting playoff structure, but they also want to wrap it up as fast as they can because they know their players are going to break down. The more baseball they play, the worse they're going to get. It's real hard to perform after 162 at the level they need to win a World Series. It's very difficult. That's why I love the sport. But in my humble opinion, all these extra wild cards, you could shoot them to the moon, in my humble opinion. And I honestly think you could wrap this up real quick because I know the wild cards make runs, but like it should go back to how it used to be. You don't need 3 wild card teams, 2 max, if you really want to call it a day. And let's just get it going. Honestly, I think the first round should be best of 3. Honestly, and then from there, best of 7. Like I feel like it used to be like that. I know that they're worried about pitching and they're worried about arms and stuff like that. But I mean, there's a reason why I'd say like 95% of this league is owned by billionaires, and the excuses that this sport, makes for their ownership it's just disgusting. But in reality, I feel like the wild card round is a big tease. I think we think it's something special and really isn't, honestly. But I want to see the best teams play the best teams. Underdog stories are cool, but I want to see big dog against big dog. You know what I'm saying?
162 games. You fought. You grinded. You played. The fans invested all that time and all those months to see what we get to in the playoff. And you get those, hey, but if you just win this much games, just this much, you might have a chance.
Yep.
I know I'm probably the get off my lawn kind of guy when it comes to certain things, but I miss the days of let the best of the best play it out. And look, I get it with the whole, the body wear and tears, if the body breaks down or whatever, but Jesus fucking Christ, like, modern medicine has become just phenomenal this day. You understand, you understand the field. It is fucking ridiculous that, we still have to worry about that. Hell, it is now suggested and advised, get the Tommy John surgery first, and then you'll have a longer career.
Mm-hmm.
So
proven, medically proven.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. What I want to see is, look, at the end of the day, you've played this straight out. Sure, like you mentioned, yeah, you get 2 teams, maybe 2 or 3 teams that go in, play in, and then let's run it out. Now we're getting teams that are like the 10th seed or the 8th seed or the case, and they become, they're in the World Series. Like, momentum has always been part of sports. And once you get hot, that momentum keeps going. And all you need is a team who went in, 80 and 82 to be hot, and they'll fucking tear to the World Series.
Does anybody ever gonna remember the 2025 Cincinnati Reds?
Yeah.
No. No. And right now, there's only one wild card team still playing, and they might get eliminated in the Tigers. So,
just gonna take a short break here, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We still have much to talk about. Still got another leg of this show here, and as always, check you guys in a sec. Be sure you come out and check out the squad on November 14th, Friday, November 14th, at the Mecca, Ridgefield Park, New York, for Respect Wrestling, presenting No Escape, Friday, November 14th. Don't want to miss it. Doors open at 7 p.m. Bell time is at 8 p.m. Friday, November 14th, at the Mecca, in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Respect Wrestling presents No Escape. You don't want to miss it. Coming back to Call It a Pinfall, the episodic show that hits you with the hard hits of opinions, news stories, and our thoughts from this week's co-host. This week, the Keef is stopping in and has much to talk about, much on his mind. And I don't know if you saw this one yet, but this is a news story that's bugging the fuck out of me. And I know my boy M2 Inc. is bothered by this as well. Santos Escobar leaving WWE. It reported that by midnight his contract is done, and apparently WWE offered him a extension and he refused. What is going on with the roster and wrestlers opting out? What do you think is going on here?
I think it's a few things, honestly, and I mean I don't want to get political, but that could also be a thing. I also think people don't like the taste of the TKO touch. There's been a lot of dipping in areas that WWE normally didn't dip into that they are dipping into under the TKO umbrella. From what I'm hearing, I mean, I hear a lot of shit, but they're shortchanging a lot of the talent, but they're also shortchanging them with no creative. And guys are extending to keep a paycheck, and if the paycheck isn't worth it, why extend? There's money to be made on the indies, even though the indies technically isn't a thing anymore. There's a very rich guy in another company that'll just give you a contract and maybe use you twice a year. Like, that is a real thing. So, I mean, I hate to blame the market of wrestling free agency to be ruined by Tony Khan, but it kind of has. But there also is like the fact that maybe some wrestlers truly just want their moment. And Santos Escobar could have had a nice little run with Andrade, who was also no longer there. And, there's just so many questions on the mid card, especially like on SmackDown. Like, Carmelo Hayes, what's up? Like, we're finally getting something. It's been a year. Santos Escobar, he's a dope character. He could have played that mafia-ish style role. Like, it got to a point where I was just like, he's probably better off in NXT if he's just going to be in catering.
Yeah, I agree with the whole landscape of now being able to jump from one company to another, the ability to to get paid off somewhere or another. The political aspect, although we may or may not want to touch on it, but that could be an issue too, be it within the promotion or outside of it. Talented guy, fucking he's been underutilized for years. I wanted that whole Legado de Fantasma to be a real dominant kind of faction that was there, but WWE tends to miss the ball or drop the ball, especially with factions that are of the we want to say, we're seeing it now how huge the Hurt Syndicate is in AEW. I think that when you have the opportunity to have individuals of that complexion to make a statement, you're dropping the ball by not giving them the push. It's time for WWE to get a little bit of their just due when it comes to dropping the ball on talent and realize, hey, you really should have done this. I know Matt Riddle recently said that Triple H likes to listen to what the fans, but Is he really listening to the fans though? I
He's just saying that shit.
don't. Next up,
Santos Escobar could have been something dope with the whole Triple A thing.
yeah. Speaking of which, we just alluded to it earlier. Andrade leaves and returns to AEW. Shocker. And is this a him thing, or is this him knowing how to play the game?
Honestly, I can't keep up. Honestly, like I want to say it's one thing, but it could be both. I mean, like we said, we're not talking about a wrestler. This motherfucker can wrestle. This motherfucker's up there. Like in terms of just pure talent, the motherfucker's up there. He don't even need to take high risks, but he does. You know, he probably is a little bit more tailor-made to AEW. I think he should have been a babyface, because like half of the country is a part of the Don Callis family. So why even bother adding another member to the Don? But whatever. Anyway, shout out Tony Khan. God bless. Andrade, man, listen. Sometimes you got to just sit there and say, maybe I wouldn't say he's his own worst enemy, but he's probably his biggest own obstacle when it comes to maybe looking for whatever he is looking for. If he's looking for a payday, he knows how to get one. I hope he's okay wellness wise, because you hear things. Hopefully he's not true, but because he's such a good wrestler. But I hate to do this, but in WWE, it really would take you a little, it'll elevate you a little bit if the English gets better. Take a look at Stephanie Vercare. You put in that effort to do that. Like he was able to communicate with fucking Charlotte Flair for a while. So, I don't know what happened there, but very curious wrestler. One of the best to definitely do it inside the square circle.
I've often said that sometimes when you see an individual who has the same level of talent as a Andrade, and you tend to hear these stories of what's happening with him, it's more of a you thing. Sure. But at the same time, I really believe also that it's like, maybe he finds ways to get out of contracts by just proving that, hey, let me be an asshole here and they'll just let me out. The wellness bang. Hey, listen, some people enjoy the sugar booger. You know what I'm talking about? Some people might enjoy to get that little party happening. But talent out the fucking ass, man. Like this kid is, he could have had much progress or on a return to the Mexican scene.
Oh yeah.
AEW has already mentioned that with their relationship with CMLL, that they're already going to push for him to be one of the guys to go over there and represent the flag. And he's already got some titles lined up for over there. So,
because why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. He didn't, WWE didn't have a 90-day clause on him, so he was able to pop up the way he did at the 6th anniversary for AEW Dynamite. And like I said, sometimes at this point in time, WWE needs to start looking to see other stars go over to the on the side of the fence. And
I agree.
One individual that hopefully that doesn't happen to, because I think this guy is a fucking superstar, is Oba Femi. Your thoughts on Oba and what's happening and what we can see with him down the line?
Superstar potential. And I love it that, he doesn't look like your typical WWE face of a company in terms of the color, right? But we're talking about, this is truly a rare specimen because he has, first of all, his mic skills, holy shit, they match his wrestling. Let's call a spade a spade. That brother could take a mic and he wrestles big. He wrestles with impact. He wrestles his size. He dictates a match based off his presence. He is the dominant force that people look for in a Brock Lesnar, in a Gunther. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, like, we have lost over the course of a good decade plus the art of the big man. It's gone. There's no big mans left. This guy right here, this is the big man. I hope they book him right. I would immediately send him to beat the living shit out of Sami Zayn and start running around SmackDown, because SmackDown needs juice. And that's a guy who just should just wild out on that whole division. I don't care about babyface or heel. He should just be tweaking. And I think like a really good bit, David versus Goliath feud is him and Carmelo Hayes for that belt for a while. That would go crazy. I love this dude.
I would have easily swapped it out Brock Lesnar and put Femi in that match.
Why not? Why not?
And then you could have said
so hard. Oh yeah.
And you could have easily put Brock as maybe Cena's final match or almost final match. That would have been the easy switch. Easy. Obafemi is someone who gravitated to wrestling so quickly and so easily. The transition was perfect fit. The one thing for me that I said that really, I always say that works with me when it comes to him is the fact that although he's a big man, he makes everybody look good at the same time. Even the smaller guys who you knew is not gonna, he's not gonna go in the ring and match them power for power, but with the speed, the agility, he makes them look good. He makes it look as though that we're gonna be in a battle, in a fight, even though it's David versus Goliath. I really hope they do not drop the ball with this guy. This guy has potential out the yin yang, and like you said, to sit there and be able to not only hone in their ring skills, being able to put other people over, but also the ability to get on the mic and equate what his talk is with the ring, makes him what a superstar should be. If Dusty was around, baby, the daddy would say that this is one of Dusty's boys, one of Dusty's babies, because he would have been over Femi.
You know how I knew he was a special talent? I saw him. First of all, I watched his first match when they were doing that little tournament, Breakout Star in NXT, whatever.
Right.
I was blown away by his first triple threat match. That I was like, yo, you would have thought he's been doing. And triple threat matches are hard. Like, like you gotta prepare for 2 other people, and you like, yo, he did like 3 straight not 3. I'm bugging out. Like after his first takeover, he did like 2 straight PLEs where he's doing like triple threats, and I'm just like, and then he did that crazy gauntlet match they have in NXT that I forgot the name of it, but like he makes that shit look seamless, bro. Seamless. Yeah. He's so good at that. Yeah.
And I'm hoping something down the line for him is gonna be fruitful, because he deserves it. The kid put his in the work.
He's better than Trick.
Just recently announced that the Nielsen ratings are now switching over to a new format. You're not going to one in which they follow for like maybe almost 50 years, in which tracking the ratings. And now it seems as though WWE and AEW are worried about these ratings and such. Do they need to worry about the ratings, or they need to worry about the fucking products that they're putting out there? The fucking the stuff in which the fans should be clamoring to see.
I don't want to act like I know what I'm talking about with ratings, because I don't. I do know it matters in wrestling. I do know it's probably a bigger situation for Tony Khan, respectfully. And I wish him well, but he needs to book a better product to get those ratings up. With that being said, I just think wrestling ratings are a way to get guys like Meltzer and all these like knockoff journalists to talk about whatever brand they want to talk about, whichever is declining, whichever is improving. And I just feel like I just don't think that there's a true place for wrestling ratings when you really, really just want to see a good wrestling show. Like the minute you turn on Raw, the minute you turn on Dynamite, the minute you're not thinking about that. You're worried about what you're going to get for the next 2 hours. And then you're sitting there saying, well, I got that. Like, I don't know if I should watch next week, right? And that's where the rating things kind of come into play for people who do like content and stuff like that. And they want to kind of give everybody an idea of why this show's good, because no one or everyone is watching it. But if you were to tell me, hey, yo, Keef, watch this shit because it's good, I'm listening to you because you're watching it, not because somebody tweeted out the demographic from ages 18 to 49. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I want to know if a wrestling fan thinks that this wrestling show is good. That's all I need to know. And unfortunately, in 2025, the best wrestling show, like honestly, you can't even pick one. If you were like, if you were in charge of any of them, all of them would be bad.
Yeah, everything is about the quarter hour, what we hitting under quarter hour, what are we hitting with with markets and ads. Like you said, I don't give a shit.
Nope.
But it is a barometer. It is a scale to show what viewers are into and what viewers are watching. And like you said, you may not be thinking about it, but at the same time, there's certain individuals who are going, I know people ain't watching this shit. This is terrible. If you have to open a show every fucking week with a goddamn fucking promo, it's so fucking annoying. Like it's come on, let's have a variety. Sometimes I want to open a show and there's a brawl happening, or we're already in the middle of a match. It draws your eyes to something and says, "Oh my god, what did I miss?" Or why did it start it like this? It helps that pops, your viewership.
Yep.
And like you said, advertisers give a fuck about all this shit. But at the same time, we had AEW Dynamite, who started off 6 years ago with 1.2 million viewers. And of course, everybody's going to love the new toy when they see it, to now drop to under 500,000. And this is not only them. You're hearing stories that Netflix are they're dropping on viewers on Raw. SmackDown is losing it as well. Like, are we just promoting? We're just putting out just for the almighty dollar, or do you really give a fuck about what your fans are watching?
I really wish somebody would answer that question, honestly, because you get like two different answers in like 5 different sentences, and it really doesn't make any sense. Like, I feel like at one point Triple H was really transparent, and like over the past year, you're kind of getting like, I feel like when I hear Triple H, I listen and I think it's like Adam Silver talking, genuinely speaking. Like, it doesn't make any, like he's just giving you the cliche stuff, and it's just like, bro, like, listen, we want to like you, dude. Like, we genuinely are trying with you, but you're making it really hard.
Throwing out the word salads and shit.
Yeah, bro. Like, another thing that annoys me, how many bracelets you need, bro? Just talk.
There's talk that possibly Jericho returns to WWE. Is this far-fetched? Do you think that this is a possibility?
Yes, it should. He absolutely should return. With all due respect to everything he did prior to WWE, and I watched him in WCW. His WWE run is one of my favorite runs of any wrestler. And yeah, he's done different things. He's very, very generic. He's very versatile. You can say what you want. I know he's old and people like to make fun, but he's genuinely one of the best wrestling minds, like, ever. And 35 years in the sport alone is incredible. I think he should definitely return to WWE. He deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. He deserves a proper send-off. It'd be nice you could get him in there at the next Hall of Fame ceremony if you really want to call it quits. It'd be dope to see him and Stephanie on stage, the one he used to call all those slut names and all that. That'd be hysterical. I don't know, they'll do that now with TKO, good lord, but it would really be nice to see Jericho. I wouldn't mind a Royal Rumble appearance. I mean, it really wouldn't hurt anybody. Is anybody gonna cry that he took a spot away from fucking Tozawa? Like, we had fucking ISHO Speed in the Royal Rumble. Like, give me Chris Jericho in the Royal Rumble. I will be happy. And let him pick whatever theme he wants. You know what I'm saying? He's earned it. It would be a really, really nice touch for especially people in our generation to give some real respect to the legacy of Jericho.
Another one who, if you wanted to do business with cross promotion, that would have been a great final match for Cena as well. That would have been great. Jericho's never wanted to burn bridges, so I know his relationship with WWE is still there. It's still consistent. They know he's a company guy. He's gonna always rah for his company. But yeah, I'm been a fan for Jericho for years. I thought his last maybe 3.5 years with AEW has been but his first 2.5 years with the company was quintessential in the development and the growth of the promotion. I really believe that there is 1 year, and I wouldn't be surprised that we would get maybe if a Jericho returns, maybe a retirement match between Jericho and AJ Styles in WrestleMania. That would be a fun one to look at. That would be crazy. He still can go. Guys,
Sign me.
54, I think 54 years old. Yeah, man. Um he's been one of the underrated, and many people may not put him on their Mount Rushmores, especially the modern day ones. But he's been an all around talent, in ring wise, on the mic, outside the ring, how charitable he can be, and such a great a great a room guy for many wrestlers. And also, Jericho, regardless of what you think about it, he's a cool motherfucker, man.
Yeah,
Shit,
yeah.
he's legit.
He gives a fuck about, and there's not a lot about. He gives a fuck about wrestling, and there's not a lot of minds left like him.
Right.
He's a very, very like different kind of cat, but like in a good way for wrestling.
Last one before we go, take it to the pinfall before the referee has to pull his ear and tell the guys to take it home. Jade Cargill. There has been some talks of how she has been progressing, regressing in WWE and such. Since her time in AEW, there has been some talk, some backlash, some comments made by certain individuals in the industry. Your thoughts about what's happening with her?
Definitely the Andrew Wiggins of wrestling.
What a wrestler.
Definitely a top potential, like kind of wrestler with limitless ceiling, but I think her adaptability to the sport is still like in question. Very robotic, yes, I agree with that phrase that people tend to attach to her. I feel like she wants to be something that they're not letting her. They're giving her this superhero Storm kind of Incredible Hulk-ish kind of vibe, and it seems like she really wants to be like that chick that you're not supposed to mess with. And I just think that they should maybe let her fail. I think they should. I think they're almost too careful with her, and it makes her come off like very non-transparent, and it's a little cringy. I would prefer her to be more of a brawler than a wrestler, because I think it'll take her farther in her career. She had a really good match with Trinity Fatu, which I genuinely appreciated, but there's not many matches in there. And also she has to escape the fact that Bianca Belair carried her for almost a year and a half. So there's many questions left. Not a big fan. No, can't say.
WWE cashed in when the iron was hot. I get that. Also, I think AEW babied her all the way through. We often we connect her as the Black Goldberg, female Goldberg, and such, which was which drew fair resemblance and such. I do have to say that there's something there, but they have not. Someone has not yet wised her up on how to work as a woman of her size and stature. Bianca is she's a phenomenon. She's like a total amazement when it comes to what she transitioned to as a wrestler. With Jade is a different kind of beast. Some may say that she may draw a resemblance to China, and I'm like, nah, she's more athletic than her. But I can get that kind of, because like you said, robotic. There's like that kind of it's almost cold, and you could play off of that as well. But my whole thing has always been, when it comes to female wrestlers, especially Black female wrestlers, is you always make them the same type of woman, that same type of gimmick. It's always that sassy, brass, bitchy kind of C word. And sometimes we gotta break away from that. I love what happened with Naomi, that she became something different. We need to start doing that a little bit more with our female wrestlers, and not one kind of gimmick and that's it.
I think she needs to. I think it would be nice if they could just peel her back. Maybe we could just know who she is, other than Bianca's former friend or whatever, and like a girl with a lot of muscles. Maybe just let her vent one day. Like, when's the last time you heard her truly cut a promo? It's been 2 years, and it's like Why are we not listening to this woman speak? Like, in my opinion, she should like let's call it, not to carry on. Is it really that much of a challenge to go 3 minutes on a microphone with Tiffany Stratton? Like, I don't think that's like climbing a mountain right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that should
Hey,
be, like impossible for her to do. Tiffany Stratton is not going to do anything on a microphone. Like, like neither is Nia Jax, The backstage segments are like, people in the stadium or the arenas need to feel these people. Need to, when Cody does the whoa stuff, that's because you believe
right.
in whoa. You believe in these things. And, I don't know if she's a face or a heel, but like, maybe if we knew who Jade Cargill was, then maybe we could figure the next step. It's just weird with her.
Yeah. Hey, this is why they Cody Dusty had them in those promo classes, because you got to learn one day. Got to learn when to get that mic. And they should have taken advantage of it, especially with her busting her face. I mean, look what it did for Becky. Becky became a superstar because of it. So
I think if you were to give her some sort of character role, and like you said, it should be something like totally different. She should just go watch like DC like stuff about like Amanda Waller, Stone Cold Biatch.
Right.
Doesn't have no attachment to nothing and will do anything for herself. I would love that. Like something like that. Amanda Waller is cool. Shit.
Yeah, that's a good look. Yeah, I like that. I like that gimmick for her. Finally gonna take it home. The pencils in the ear. They're getting the announcement to the referee to tell the wrestlers to take it home. Gotta touch on it because everybody else has, and of course, at the end we gotta throw it to a pop culture reference. God, this thing, is it really as big as it's supposed to be? I mean, are we that serious? And we don't need to get political, but just the opinions of fucking everybody and that's going on there. Is it really that serious? And are you a fan? I don't know if you're a fan or not.
Oh my God, love him. He's my favorite artist. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is a big deal because unfortunately, we live in the quote unquote land of the free world, and half of this country doesn't even know he's an American. That's the sad part, And there's been people who have been non-American to do the Super Bowl halftime show. Just because he's doing it in a different language doesn't mean that you in about 6 months are going to be booking your trip to fucking San Juan and take all the pictures and see how happy you are on a fucking island. But yet the man can't go perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. Let's call a spade a spade. You don't want a colored person up there speaking in their native tongue, and having a good time representing this country. That's all it is. Because guess what? The NFL is the white man's sport dominated by black people. That's the real situation here. And we don't want to acknowledge that shit. But guess what? Two biggest musical artists in the planet, Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny's doing it before Taylor Swift. Well, shout out to Taylor. She definitely deserves her chance, whatever, whenever it comes. But the fact that it's even between like him, her, a woman, and him is dope that we're actually advancing in the world. You know what I'm saying? Yes, women have done it before, but like the fact that this is where we're at right now is a great thing. Shout out to Rock Nation for actually like being brave and like going down this route because he's the biggest artist on the planet. He deserves to do it. Why not? He just had the biggest tour on the planet. So if anybody has a problem with it, honestly, don't fucking watch.
Taylor Swift wanted her concert. She wanted the footage. That's what she wanted. The NFL wouldn't want to give it to her. Rock Nation had an issue with that.
They give her footage every fucking week. I don't blame them.
Right. Bunny's doing it for free.
Yeah.
NFL, they're not paying him. He's doing it for free. This is his stage. Look, what Kendrick did, and this is what a lot of people are pissed off at. What Kendrick did last year was put a microscope on what the real issue is, what the fuck is going on here. Yep. And that's what they're afraid of, that he's going to do it again, and he's going to signal flag to minorities that, hey, listen, look at what in the world, look what the fuck we're doing here.
And he is going to do it. We all know he's going to do it.
And like you mentioned, a lot of you motherfuckers who sit there and upset at this would love to own property on the island.
Yep.
Would love to be invested in the island.
Yep.
You fucking vacation and eat out tostones and our need and all that when you come to vacation and drink our fucking drinks, our rum there, right? Yep. But this you have a problem with. listen, I'm not one of these. I'm not to say that I'm a big fan. I just jumped on the train like maybe a few years ago. When he did that shit on the top of the truck going down motherfucking Spanish Harlem, going under, I was like, this motherfucker's on it. Like I fucked with him. But
He's
now
dope. He's dope, man.
the last couple of albums I heard, I'm on it. And
Yeah.
for me, this is a testament of what they are afraid of, which is, sorry guys, from 2045, you will become the minority.
Oh yeah, they're afraid. They're afraid. They're afraid the white minority becoming like the biggest minority. They're afraid of it, and it's gonna happen.
Que viva Puerto Rico.
Absolutely, forever.
So, I'm gonna close it out here and call it a pinfall. Keef, what's going on? What we got going on? What's happening? And how are we dealing with sports from here on out? I know you're in it now. Soccer's still around. Make sure you guys check out our episode. Debut.
Had mad fun doing that. So much fun. But again, also we're banning the S word, sir.
Yeah, sorry. Shout out to the Keef who helped me with our football edition of Are We Talking Sports? Our debut edition. Make sure you check it out. Like and subscribe for that as well and be a part of it. Are we just focusing on European football?
Look right now where I'm at, baseball. I hope it's a brand new champion. I will be tapped in. I'm kind of rooting for the Seattle Mariners because why not? I'm patiently waiting for the Knicks because we both are big Knicks fans. So and they're supposed to be very, very good this year. So I'm excited. And yeah, I'm waiting for Arsenal. Right now they're on a 2-week break, so a nice little break. I don't have to really commit to nothing right now. Nice little reset of the batteries. But the main thing is that I don't have to focus on the Mets for about 8 months, and it's a beautiful blessing. God bless. Also, too, real quick, I just want to point out to your point about the whole Bad Bunny thing. These same people are with all this chest about him performing. They done dance to his music, and they don't even know it's him singing it. And now that they know it, they put a name to a face, and they realize he's from Puerto Rico, and they think people think Puerto Rico's not U.S. territory. Then it just, again, to your point, highlighting the problems we have with America. And there's so many people who are brainwashed by nonsense that I think this is the best thing that can happen. I'm so excited. Hopefully it goes well, and because you hear what's going to be near the performance, and I hope everything goes well and people are safe, and it's just a really, really great time. But again, bro, I appreciate you having me on, and I really did enjoy the football episode that we did. It was really good.
Yeah, we always do some promos for that and such. And guys, as always, make sure you check us out on all the social media outlets for your notifications. Like and subscribe, be a part of the vibe of everything connected to New York Wrestle Media. Call it a pinfall. Our debut episode of Are We Talking Sports? Press save with Santy, history and headlocks, more shows going down the line. I'm cramming it down their face, people. We're doing it just like being Boricua. We're doing it, people. We're cramming it in your face. All he needs to do is LV Crepo out to play Suavemente for 2 minutes. Everybody will be fine. But everybody else, check it out.
They're buying his $80 fitted, so why not, right?
Right. Like he said, you got 4 months to learn Spanish. And Duolingo's giving away 4 months of free English. That's hilarious.
On purpose. It's fucking hysterical.
As always, guys, don't go anywhere and stick around. Check you guys in a sec. Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.